younger days of the X-Men. Bryan Singer, who directed the first two films, had always envisioned a story about Charles Xavier and Eric Lehnsherr's early friendship. In 2006, while working on X-Men: The Last Stand, Singer commissioned a script for an X-Men Origins Magneto film written by Sheldon Turner, which focused on Magneto's backstory during World War II and beyond. Meanwhile, there was talk of adapting the comic book series X-Men First Class, created by Jeff Parker and Roger Cruz in 2006, which depicted the teenage years of the original team like Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Beast at Xavier's school. However, the film version decided to blend elements from both ideas, shifting the focus to Xavier and Magneto in their 20s and 30s during the 1960s. Things really kicked off in 2009 when 20th Century Fox greenlit the project as a way to reboot the franchise softly after the lukewarm reception to Wolverine Origins. Bryan Singer returned as a producer and story contributor, but he couldn't direct due to commitments to other projects like Jack the Giant Slayer. They brought in Matthew Vaughn, fresh off his success with Kick-Ass in 2010, which proved he could handle comic book adaptations with grit and humor. Vaughn was initially hesitant, but got excited about setting the story during the Cuban Missile Crisis, adding a historical twist. The script went through several hands. Ashley Edward Miller and Zach Stentz, known for their work on Thor, wrote an initial draft. Then Jane Goldman, who collaborated with Vaughn on Kick-Ass and Stardust, refined it along with Vaughn himself. Sheldon Turner and Bryan Singer got story credits for their foundational work. This collaborative process ensured the film had a mix of epic scope and intimate moments. Development wrapped up quickly, with pre-production starting in early 2010, leading to a tight schedule that somehow resulted in magic on screen. Knowing this backstory makes you appreciate how the movie avoided common pitfalls of rushed productions. It's polished and purposeful. Speaking of the director, Matthew Vaughn is a key reason to watch this film. Born in 1971 in London, Vaughn started his career as a producer on films like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels in 1998 and Snatch in 2000, both directed by Richie Gyrie. He made his directorial debut with Layer Cake in 2004, starring Daniel Craig, which showed his knack for stylish crime stories. Then came Stardust in 2007, a fantasy adventure that highlighted his visual flair. But Kick-Ass really put him on the map for superhero fans. It was bold, violent, and satirical. For X-Men First Class, Vaughn brought that same energy, infusing the film with a retro 60s aesthetic inspired by James Bond films like Dr. No. He wanted it to feel like a spy thriller with mutants, complete with globe-trotting locations and charismatic leads. Vaughn's direction emphasizes character relationships, making the film more than just action. It's about the emotional stakes. He also pushed for practical effects where possible, blending them with CGI for a grounded feel. If you enjoy directors who take risks, like Christopher Nolan or James Gunn, Vaughn's style will captivate you. His involvement turned what could have been a standard prequel into a standout entry. The producers behind the